So I met we met some friends the other day, and hadn't seen them for a few months. And this lady, she said to me, "Oh, hey, how you doing? You've put on weight." It's kind of, like, why do people say that? I don't know. You kind of know, don't you? You don't really like to hear it, but since when? I don't know. I was trying to think. When did I last see her? I have put on weight, through my lifetime. I mean, I was a premature baby, so I had to catch up. I think probably have caught up by now, but yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? I don't know, why do people say it? And then we kind of had a conversation, and I couldn't really think of anything else. I can't remember anything else we talked about. I just really, is it that obvious? I don't know. It's kind of, I like food. I wouldn't call myself a foodie, but I love food. I've never really been able to do the whole diet thing. Can't even really say I've tried. The idea of making a set of sort of conditions for my eating, making eating conditional on, can you have this, can you have that, when intermittent fasting, maybe just like have a long lie-in and a late breakfast. Does that work? I don't know. This keto, obviously works, in Ecuador. They stay so slim and that, but that's a local thing, isn't it? They say eat local, eat the food from, where you're living. But that doesn't work so well if you move around the world, like we do. My family, we're wife's from India, I'm from England, we've lived in different countries. We have, fusion, I guess is what we do, isn't it? Baked beans on chapati, scrambled eggs with masala. It's quite sophisticated, really. My son goes to an international school, people from all around the world there. They had an international food day the last weekend. We went there, it was great. The Swiss, they had their sort of fondues there, real melting pot. So I don't know. It's of course, when people say you've lost weight, that sounds good, doesn't it? That's nice. But then we think, do they really mean it? Is it just a nice thing to say? But then when people say you've put on weight, why are they saying that? Are they just trying to be nasty, or they genuinely see a difference? That conversation played out in different ways. That a friend then perhaps saw something, I don't know, then said to me, "Oh well, it looks good on you. It looks good, And so I said, "Oh well, thank you." We played out this charade that it was somehow a positive thing, and that I was fully embracing my late 50s kind of middle-aged girth. I am who I am, etc. But somehow, when somebody says that, that you've put on weight, you immediately believe it, and you say, well, yes, of course I have. But when they say you've lost weight, we think, well, do they have really? Are they just saying that? And I don't know, it made me think that perhaps we're are we somehow preconditioned for bad news? We're ready for bad news, but we distrust the notion of good news. When things are kind of going wrong in your life, you're hitting rock bottom, lost my job, relationship's not going well, money's a disaster, put on weight, health is not good, and somebody says to you, well, everything happens for a reason. I'm like, well, yeah, I've got a nightmare boss, I've made a mess of my sort of finances, and ate too much fondue. Those are the reasons. But actually, I think when people say that, they're not looking at cause and effect from the past. They're saying that what has happened, bad though it is actually happening for something, for a reason, or something that is it's leading to something in the future. And in the future you will see what that thing is. And there's an assumption there. I mean, the conversation is, I think, it's intended to be reassuring when somebody says that. But there is an assumption that it's leading to something better, isn't it? Almost as if your life is being scripted. There is a script writer or a film director who's kind of got it all planned out. You're just a sort of actor on the stage, playing out your life. You don't actually know the ending, but there is an ending already there. And this low point is just a temporary low point that is going to lead to something much more positive in the future. Of course, not all films, stories, plays have happy endings, do they? I mean, there's maybe 4 or 5 basic stories. Tragedy is one of them. So when you say it's happening for a reason, I mean, which particular genre are we talking about? Which story are we in here? Or is it? I mean, is it a Hollywood ending? Okay, so we're leading towards a kind of a bucolic scene of myself and various generations sitting on a porch of a house somewhere, perhaps in the beautiful rural sort of part of England, with a sea view as the sun goes down, and the grandchildren are sort of frolicking around, just sharing things they've written on their diaries, not a screen in sight. And I'm, wiry, sort of, kind of, full of a sort of, 80-something nervous energy, having just come back from my brisk walk in the countryside. Is that the scene that this low point is kind of leading towards? We're just in Act 3, and that's the Act 4. Or is it a David Lynch movie where everything's all up in the air and we've got no idea what's going on? Or or you're in a Ken Loach movie, God forbid, social realism, different part of England we could be living in when I'm a granddad, if I even get there. So there is an assumption around that, isn't there, that everything happens for a reason, and I don't know, in those conversations, like, you seem to know so much about my life, maybe you should just take over. You seem to know where it's going. It's not actually that reassuring, is it? But then, I guess there are people. A friend of mine said to me once, I just want somebody to tell me what to do. That's all I really want. I want somebody to say, look, this is what you need to do, do this. And I think there is something of that in us, isn't there? I had an interesting revelation a few years back when I understood that a guru in India, I'd always had the notion that the guru was like the master who shows you the way, which is true, but actually is more than that. What he does is he gives you the knowledge, gives you the power to then find your way, and he helps you it's like God helps those who help themselves. It says in the Bible, the guru gives you the knowledge that you need to remove the obstacles so you can see the light. But you kind of have to do it. And I don't know that we're all completely comfortable with that. I work in teaching. We teach languages, and it's all about learner-centered, put the child at the center of the learning. Sometimes they don't want to be. It's like, teacher, can you just tell me what to do? Let me do it. And you get notions of, you hear the word a lot of, we need to empower, we need to be empower people to sort of take control of their destiny. But do we all want that? Are we all comfortable with that? Is it a bit scary maybe? So I don't know. I might end up just having another sandwich and put some of this on hold, and I think we will come back to this at some point in the future. But in the meantime, can I just say, you're looking really good, guys. you've lost weight.